You can support this show at patreon.com/ASA podcasting.
The wasteland is a post-apocalyptic mess as the sole survivor wanders out about to see the rest. Nuclear explosions sending out the gamma rays from deep within the core, frozen atomic waves. From deep within the core, frozen atomic waves.
Hello and welcome to the 112th edition of the Fallout Feed. I am Andrew, joined by a whole bunch of people today because it is the Fallout Roundtable Season 6 wrap-up show. Welcome to the show, Craig. Hi, Craig. How are you today, sir?
Hey, good. How are you?
Thanks, and welcome coming to the show, Sir Jen. How are you, Jen?
I'm good. How are you?
Wonderful. Ray. Hi, Ray.
Evening, Andrew.
Sarah, what's going on?
What up?
Steve.
Kia ora koutou.
Steve, any brush up brand new news on the generator?
Oh, wow. Right into it. All right. Yes. So I did do a little bit of work on the random character generator for Fallout 76. I've added a few different new features. One of the new features I just added was a workshop to defend. That was your suggestion, Andrew, I believe. And so it will come up with a random workshop that you need to go and defend.
Yeah, since we can't go assign settlements, like we used to assign settlements to put a bunch of settlers at and build those up. Can't really do that. So what we can do is assign for you a zone to set your camp up in, and then set up a they're not called settlements. What are they called? What are you calling those?
Workbench.
A workbench to defend. So
a workshop. A workshop. Sorry.
Yeah, it caused you searching problems.
Yeah, totally it did.
All right. So what we're talking about here for any new listeners is this is a where we do a project called the Roundtable, where we all roll random characters and jump into a game and compare game experiences and what sort of trouble the game causes us by having these weird character rolls. In Fallout 4, it was really easy to do because you had 28 points with which to start, so you could really map out a character nice and easy and then sort of jump into that character. And that's what we've done here for Fallout 4. We've just done our 6th season of the Roundtable, 5 of which were in Fallout 4. We did one in New Vegas as well. So we will get into some Season 6 wrap-up here. Character generators, anyone who's interested in participating in the Roundtable, we will be doing Season 7 for Fallout 76. Now, that will start in about a little less than a month now. Well, a couple weeks, actually. We're going to have a spoiler-free, no story spoilers. Anyone in the podcast tonight who've played the game a bunch, please lay off of any really specific story spoilers. You can talk about any of your experiences that you feel like won't ruin the experience for someone else. I encourage that. So you have about a month to play the game to get yourself all spoilered up. And then on December 8th for our ASA podcasting charity marathon for the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation, we will roll our first set of characters for Fallout 76 using Steve's awesome character generator. Now, Steve, we mapped out the first 50, levels of the character just based on your specials, which you have to cash in each level, correct?
Yeah, I think that's really going to work out now that I've played the game the way that I did it, because if it'll make it a challenge if you pick the special point in the order that we go along. So it'll show you which special point to grab every level up to 50, which is good. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. That'll make it a challenge. And I also added a mutation.
Oh, nice.
Random generator. And there's some really interesting mutations in the game.
If you have a mutation and you sign off and you sign back on, will you still have the mutation, or is your blood and stuff wiped clean each time you get onto the server?
I think it stays with you. But I don't know. My character's never gotten one.
Oh, you're just living the clean life, aren't you, buddy?
Yeah, well, I use that what is it, Pharma perk card, and I get extra med chems whenever I search a medical kit. So I'm not hurting on the rad away. And the way you get a mutation is, I guess, have rads for a long period of time or something.
I think it's more than 50% radiation for some sort of duration. I think. I don't know. Could be.
I've gotten it with a smaller amount of radiation before.
Nice.
I've gotten it just farming water.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I've picked it up from hitting one of those. I've been calling them like pestilence bodies, the scorched that are all frozen in action. Those guys. I picked up 2 at once.
They're like the Pompeii bodies.
Yeah.
What mutations did you guys get?
I just picked up Egghead today. It gives me a boost to intelligence and some other stuff.
That one was crazy because it gave you like a -1 in strength and perception and endurance and charisma and agility and luck, but it gave you a +6 in intelligence. It took a 1 off of everything else, but gave you a +6 in intelligence.
Yeah, so I'm
That's
walking
really
with
awesome.
that.
That's a great one.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. And then there was another one I picked up at the same time that has it's like minus 50% chem effect and plus 300% health regeneration.
Oh shit!
Oh, and
It's awesome, except I only have like a quarter health, so I can like take 2 hits and I have to run away.
Yeah.
that one's called healing factor.
Yes, that's it.
Nice.
And so you can have 2 at once.
I don't know if it's a bug, but I've got both right now before I go on the stream.
Well, chems can only be applied 1 at a time, correct?
Yes.
That's interesting that 2 mutations could be applied at once. Fun. Right on. Well, before we get too deep into 76, let's backtrack a little bit here back to Fallout 4 for a little bit and reflect upon our journey through the Commonwealth Wasteland. Now, my character started out, I gave a quick little backstory. If anybody's listened to the show in the past, we have some incredible storytellers, some incredible role players in this community. And I'm envious of them, but I am not nearly as well versed in storytelling and role playing as a lot of the people here. I just kind of play the game in an exploratory fashion, and I really like to use the roundtable role to force myself into new ways to play the game. Otherwise, I just get stuck. In Skyrim, it was always a 2-handed melee character that I'd always fall back on doing, and in Fallout, it's always the combat rifle. And a little bit of sneak to up that damage, and rifleman. I would always fall back on that. And VATS. I'm a VATS head. Lots of agility and perception. So if anything I can do to bust myself out of that mold and quit playing the game super repetitively, it's the round table that can help me do that. So this was a melee character named Bell. The backstory that I created for Bell was that he was a bell refurbisher, like church bell, and he would construct and design bell towers. One day, one of his jealous apprentices shoved him down the bell tower, and he hit many bells on the way down, scarring up his face horribly, almost killing him. He awoke many years later from a frozen cryopod thing, being subjected to some crazy experiment by Vault-Tec. And that he would continue to go around the Commonwealth, installing bells in all the settlements, helping settlers, installing bells of hope, so that bells of hope, a message of hope, could ring through the Commonwealth. I like the Grognak costume is what I used most of the playthrough because it gave a bump to either melee or AP. And that's what I was doing. I was using VATS with the Blitz perk, doing lots of anything I could do to make my AP or my agility higher. Get extra swings in that. And my melee weapon of choice was Adam's Judgment from the Children of Adam over there on Far Harbor. Great, very high power, very dangerous melee weapon.
And you went and got that at a really low level, didn't you?
Yeah, that was the first thing I did. I looked up the best melee weapon in the game, and that was my first objective. I did that under level, definitely under 10, maybe under level 5. I can't recall. It's been so long at this point now. My original roll was a strength of 6, so that helped with the concentration in the melee, and I built on that, I think, throughout the game, but mainly concentrating again on agility, because I always do that with the VATS and whatnot. But see, it was VATS as a melee playthrough this time instead of VATS as a rifleman or pistol or energy weapon. So that was different. I haven't used Blitz in a long time. I know Ray is a huge fan of the Blitz perk, and he has lots of different builds, but that's one I definitely hear him refer to a lot. But that was a brief introduction to my character, Bell. Sort of my attack style. And we'll get into more specifics and stories over the next little bit of time here. So, Ray, why don't you tell us a little bit about your character? Also had a really nice backstory.
Yeah, so my character is Jang Jun, and she is a descendant of a Chinese American family that was interned in Green Mountain, Vermont, before the bombs dropped. And she found her way into the Commonwealth on a on a personal adventure. Her skills were commando, so that was new for me because I've never really played a machine gun build, and was a little skeptical at first, but in the end, I was digging it. Especially when she got the splatter cannon from Nuke World. That thing is pretty crazy. It's like the spray and pray on steroids.
What is its base weapon? What is it?
The handmade rifle from Nuke World.
And then it is made automatic too. So did it fit into your commando?
Yeah, it was automatic and silenced. So I had taken Mr. Sandman. It wasn't one of my assigned perks, but it definitely came in handy.
And it has the legendary that every time you shoot the same thing, it increases the damage, yeah? What is that called? The Furious or something?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. She did have a little bit of
concentrated fire?
No, that's a different one.
Okay.
That's actually a perk. Furious is a legendary effect.
Oh, okay.
It's like the Swan's Fist. The power fist you get from Swan has the Furious perk on it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was a lot of fun to play. I probably won't do a lot more with Commando. Kind of in between, I started getting a hankering for another melee character. So I built a quick Blitz character, and I was playing with that in between quests.
When you build a quick Blitz character like that, you just automatically give yourself enough base special points so you can take Blitz immediately.
Yeah, you get the 9 agility, and that gives you Blitz right off the bat.
Yeah, that's so high. I actually cheated on my character build too. Let's see if I look at my list here. I didn't cross off Chem Resist. Yep, Chem Resistant was the one that I decided to ignore. And I was when I saw that Chem Resistant was one of my roles, I was like, okay, I got to do it because the whole purpose of this round table is to get yourself outside of your comfort zone. And I never ever use chems. The only thing I do with chems is I sell them for caps. They're basically another source of money for me because I don't know why, but when I'm in the midst of battle, I never think to stop and get all juiced up before I go in. So I should have used chem resistant, but that fell to the wayside, and I replaced it with stuff like beefing up my agility to 8, 9, 7, 8, and 9, and then blitz 1 and 2 immediately after, as soon as possible. But that's very helpful with melee, Ray.
Yeah. Yeah, I took a pass on strong back because I didn't really build any settlements with this character. And then also animal friend.
Strong back, I did for the first time complete, and I think hella useful because I'm such a pack rat. It lets you fast travel when over encumbered, and I'm like, holy fuck, that's great. It's like having a horse in Skyrim. It's amazing.
I have never used those charisma perks like animal friend and intimidation.
Yeah, I did once.
I have once, and I thought it was really, really fun, but evidently not fun enough to do it, to build it into more character. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I found it quite unfun. It doesn't really suit my style because
you don't like followers.
Well, I don't like followers, but also if I'm going to point a gun at you, I'm just going to shoot you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to wait around and see if you are intimidated or not.
You're not into the Mexican standoff here. Right on. Ray, thank you for playing along this season. Sarah, how'd your
Hello.
character end up?
So my character was Addison, which was a name given to me by the generator. So Codsworth was able to say my name, which is fun. That was the first time I've had somebody that would do that for me, or the name that would work for me. And I am usually, I'm very similar to you, Andrew. So I am usually a VATS player with rifle, usually with rifles. And I actually did play that with this character because I was given Bloody Mess, which I had never had before and I loved. So it's great. Everyone, y'all need Bloody Mess. I was also given Mr. Sandman, which I never used. Aqua Girl, which actually came in handy a few times. And then also Animal Friend. I know, Ray, you were just talking about Animal Friend, and I never once got it to work. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong, if I'm hitting the wrong buttons or what's going on, but I always end up just like shooting them because I get frustrated.
It's you're supposed to pacify them or something, right? And
Right.
then you tell them to follow you.
Yeah, you're supposed to be able to pacify them, but I just ended up shooting them. So I think I'm just hitting the wrong buttons.
I think when I was doing it, I was confused with what the game was deciphering between an animal and a monster. I was pointing at like, I don't know. I can't come up with a good, like a mongrel. I was pointing it at a mongrel, but the game considered it like a monster, not a dog.
Oh, that's interesting.
So it would only work with the Wasteland Whisperer one, not the Animal Friend one.
I wonder if maybe that's my problem. But I did try it on like a Yaoguai. That should work.
That's also an irradiated monster. I think it's just for the animal.
Oh.
But what animals would those be? There's very few.
Yeah, I was gonna say what animals are there? Like cats, but you're not gonna fight those.
Are there dogs? Yeah, there's guard dogs. For like the gunners. Gunners have guard dogs and stuff.
Oh,
Here we
you
go.
know what? Steve, tell me what's up.
Oh, it says Brahmin, dog, house cat, mole rat, mutant hound, rad stag, yaguai, wolf, rad chicken, and bloodworm. Oh, bloodworm, yeah.
Oh man, I want rad chickens to follow me around.
Oh yes.
Oh.
Peck on attack. That'd be great. So okay, that might be part of the issue, Sarah. But you did mention a Yaoguai. That should work on a Yaoguai.
Can somebody come over and teach me how to do it?
Well, speak of your and Ray's teaching experiences, what you guys were doing last night. We'll get into that here in a little bit. It'll be fun. Anything else you'd like to mention about your character, Sarah?
You know, no. I wish I had had a little more time to play
Yeah.
this character. I didn't really get as much playing time in as I usually like to, so I didn't get to do all that much. But it was fun to finally get to Nuka World and explore some parts of the game I hadn't been in.
The busy life of adulting.
I know, it's hard.
Don't get enough video game time anymore.
I know, so sad.
Great. Hey, Steve. Want to
Yeah, man.
give us a little background on your character there?
Yeah, so I first rolled Timmy
Character,
and
shall I say?
characters. Yeah, I first rolled Timmy, and I gave him the backstory of he'd been injured. His legs had been injured in the previous war, and he was in a wheelchair, and so I translated that into he needed to use power armor frames to walk around. So I made him a full-on power armor build, and he ended up joining the Brotherhood of Steel because that seemed to fit his character with the whole military background. And we destroyed the Institute with the Brotherhood, but then I ran into some technical issues, and so I ended up re-rolling and created Slinger, and I took her to Nuka World right out of the vault, and so that was really interesting, just playing a straightforward, pure Raider playthrough. Very difficult.
I'm just blown away you could get in at a low level.
It took some jumping around. I had to run away from that. Was it the Assaultron that was there?
Holy cow! Yeah,
Because that Assaultron's like level 25 or 30 or something.
I think they recommend level 30, don't they, before you go over there, or 20 at least.
They do, but most everything scales down, so you can get in. But I had to go in and out of the rail station there a couple times to actually lose that Assaultron and sneak around and snipe those other guys. Once I got into the park, though, it was great. I passed a charisma check with Mason, and I got a weapon called the Problem Solver, which is the exact same weapon as the splatter cannon that Ray was talking about, just named differently. And it's still at level 30, 35. I'm still using that same one weapon. I've only used that weapon the entire game. I don't carry any other, and I just buy ammunition for it over and over again. It's so great.
It's that weird 7.62 ammo or whatever, right, for the handmade rifle? Or wait, is that from Far Harbor?
Correct. No, yeah, you're correct. That's the Nuka World ammo, and it's you have to buy the ammunition.
I was just about to say can't make it. Can you remember, can you make ammunition? You can't even make ammunition, can you? Ugh. My brain has already switched over.
And so yeah, I just buy lots of ammunition, and it's been a great weapon. I have gun nut, so I've been bumping it up a little bit. And then Slinger's been taking over the Commonwealth, making Raider outposts and vassal outposts. So it's been interesting. I'm not sure how soon I'm gonna go back and finish that all up. It'd be nice to actually finish it up.
That's great.
Yeah. So I had a really good time playing both those characters.
You ever go back and play old characters? Is that something you do?
Nope.
Yeah,
I've never gone back and played old ones. I always get rid of them. I've deleted all the old characters.
I think Ray's got a few terabyte full of hard drives of characters that he's got stored away.
Yeah, I've got them tucked everywhere.
It would be fun to go back and see my first character that I played for. What was it, like a year or something, and it got up to level 125 or 130. His name was Todd.
That's great. That's really nice. I ran into the save space save file cap and had to go through and delete old characters. Xbox has a per game save file cap, I guess. I don't know if anyone can confirm that, but it made me delete save files in order to keep saving. I don't know if that was a... No, it shouldn't have been a whole Xbox save space issue. It should have been just game specific because I have the had plenty of space otherwise. But
I know that PS4 has that because I've run into that as well, but I'm not sure about Xbox.
yeah, well, PlayStation, I assume, just tries to restrict you in every way possible whenever they can and everything. So
It
doesn't surprise me.
Can't even deny it.
Yeah. Right on. So let's say hi to Jen. Jen, tell us about where it started out, where you're going.
So my character role, her name's Crystal, and the Commonwealth faction I had was the Brotherhood and Far Harbor faction, Children of Adam. I haven't actually finished Far Harbor yet. I was just kind of doing the quests and moving through, but it was really interesting to see how differently some of the interactions were if you were a Children of Adam or Brotherhood. Anyway, I got Dance as a romance and Valentine as my follower. So I went through all the quests to get Valentine's affinity, and then I got Dance's affinity, and I've been running with him since the last show we did, where I rescued him again, and every time I go somewhere, I get attacked. The Brotherhood are everywhere, and I get like helicopters, or sorry, vertibirds coming in, and then suddenly there are guys on the ground, and they're shooting me all over the place. And it's been really interesting because everybody hates us. The railroad is coming after us, and random occurrences, and the Brotherhood's coming after us. So that's been really exciting. For me, I've never done that before.
To get the situation, you just have to get to max affinity with Dance as a follower, and then betray the Brotherhood when they ask you to go kill him, right?
Yeah. You got to convince Dance not to kill himself.
Oh yeah,
it's just the saddest thing.
It is such a brutal quest.
A man in his underwear shoots himself in basement. Very sad.
Covered in Cheeto dust and sad. Yeah, he's it was a brutal quest, but I feel so attached to him now. I feel like I can't put him down. So I run into packs of Brotherhood fighting railroad dudes, and then they both turn and attack us. So I have to be careful walking around, but I've never played unarmed before. So Iron Fist was pretty exciting, and I needed more strength because my strength roll was only 5. So the first thing I did was run down to Swan's Pond and use that Andrew trick of pulling him into the subway station entrance.
No, that's not my trick.
Is it yours?
I don't know. I probably saw that on YouTube. I cannot claim anything that I say on the show is probably not my idea.
Well, I learned it from you.
Me regurgitating someone else's idea, someone else's plan.
Well, that trick of pulling him into the subway station entrance so he can't actually get in.
Yeah.
And taking him out with my little tiny pipe pistol.
Yeah, it's so cheating, but it's great because you can kill Swan at level 1 if you just have like a pipe pistol, but you got to have like 300 rounds to do it. Is the only thing.
Oh yeah, I threw as many grenades as I could to take him down, but I got the Furious Power Fist that he's got, and that's been my go-to for everything. I also got Animal Friend, and I couldn't make that work for me either. Ooh. I tried to get a mole rat to follow me, and he did, and then I was walking past Covenant, and all of the turrets opened fire on him, and he died. So I couldn't go near anybody else. And I also, I tried it with some dogs. That didn't work either. So I wasn't a fan of Animal Friend, but Mysterious Stranger I have never maxed out before. And it is awesome. It's fantastic.
Remind me, is it the Mysterious Stranger is the guy who pops out and helps you in vats, right?
Yeah, he'll show up in vats, and he's super OP and will take anything down. So I was when I was in the Nuka plant, the bottling plant in Nuka World, there's that section where there's like 4 Assaultrons, and 3 out of 4 of them he took down for me. I got like 1 shot in, and he took them down. So I was pretty pleased.
Colin always would cuss that perk because it would take away his kill.
Yeah.
I
I'm
love
okay
the
with it.
Mysterious Stranger. He's awesome.
It's
So
awesome.
good.
Don't you have the mod?
Yeah, I run
Biggie.
the mod. Yeah, I run the mod that pulls out Biggie Smalls,
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I want that.
and it plays a little like rap song. He's singing about putting a cap in you, and
Mhm.
then he blasts the guy. Yeah, it's great.
That's pretty fun. I didn't run mods on purpose this whole season long so that I could concentrate on getting all of the achievements in Fallout 4 that I had not yet accomplished. Now, out of this list of 26 achievements that I had yet to accomplish in the game, how many did I check off this season, do you guys think?
None.
Absolutely
2.
0. Good call. Good call. Thank you, Craig.
Not even the Nuka World tickets.
What do you mean even? That's the hardest one in the fucking game to
Yeah,
get.
I haven't done that one.
Oh god, it's the worst.
Are you at like 99% except for that one?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. There are those folks out there in the community who are just like, crap, they erased my achievements. I got to go back and get those achievements. It's like, I don't know why. It just has never crossed my mind to care about going to do all that stuff. And I was just going to do it just to say that I've done it. You know what I mean?
The only achievement that I've ever attempted to get was running the bases at Diamond City.
Oh, nice. What do you mean attempted?
Well, there's a lot of them that you get whether you want to or not.
I thought you meant that you failed. You couldn't even.
No. So yeah, I've got the 40% that you can't help but get.
Yeah, like leaving the vault. Good job.
Yep.
Building a water purifier. Good job. Achievement. You get an achievement. Right on. Craig, you wrote a character, played along with us for a little bit, didn't finish out the season. That's quite all right. We brought you on. You can feel free to reflect on your character if you wish, and we brought you on to speak about 76 too. So welcome to the show, Craig.
Yeah, I was trying to refresh my memory on my character. The only thing I really remember is that she was the butcher of Boylston Street, and she had the cannibal perk.
Oh, cannibal. And that was fun because you had just done cannibal in New Vegas the season before.
Yeah. Fun. Yeah, that's it. It was fun.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Kind of one of the reasons why I stopped. I mean, it was fun at first, but
yeah,
you can't get any followers if you have that unless you get strong, but I hate strong.
What, they don't like you just bending over and eating people all the time? They got
No.
for some reason?
I think Kate was my follower and she hated it. I think she ended up attacking me at one point.
That's great. I didn't even think of that they would get so mad that they would fight you.
Yeah, there's some great YouTube videos out there of all the comments that the followers make when you chow down on somebody.
So why is Strong just cool with it then? I know he's a super mutant, but he's not like one of those super mutants anymore, you know?
He kind of still is.
Yeah.
He wants the milk of human kindness. He thinks he can milk a human. He's okay with cannibalism.
Why doesn't someone just tell him that that's like a metaphor or something?
Do you want to explain to him what a metaphor is?
Yeah, exactly.
Eat my face if
he would probably, just kill you and eat you.
Be like, oh, you mean the milk is inside you? Oh, okay, here we go. I'm gonna eat you. Oh, good job, bro. All right, so that's our sort of introduction to our characters. So we can sort of open up the floor and talk about any of your favorite moments. We were doing the best quests, which in essence was the best side quests of all of Fallout 4. We did a couple over there in Far Harbor, did a couple over in Nuka World, and then a bunch of the best side quests of the mainland or the Commonwealth there. So if anybody has any specific reflections that they'd like to toss out there, that would be awesome.
No, my favorite is always the USS Constitution.
I love it.
Yeah. And this was the first time that I had ever not sided with the robots, and it'll also be the last time.
What are the two differences? What's the difference between the two styles, outcomes there?
Well, one is a lot of fun, and the other one's just dumb. Yeah, it's really thin. To side with the scavengers, essentially you just still do the whole quest with the robots, but at the end you take the pump bearing to Trudy or whatever her name is, and they sabotage it, and it causes the ship not to take off, and then then you attack the ship and take out the robots. And when you do that, you go up to to finish off the quest with her, and she says, "Oh, by the way, we decided to cut you out of the deal." And then the scavengers go hostile on you, and so you end up killing them all, but you don't get the broadsider, and you only get it's less than 1,000 caps for helping Trudy, so it was all pretty weak.
You say less than 1,000, but if it's anywhere close to 1,000, that's still a pretty penny, considering you get like 2 or 3 most of the time.
Yeah, but I mean, when's the last time you ever ran short on caps in Fallout 4?
Well, you specify Fallout 4. Yeah, you're right. Just because if you get Scrounger,
or even without, I mean, you end up with so many stinking
chems. You just sell ammunition and chems. Well, I sell chems. A lot of people take their chems, but I just sell ammunition and chems, and that's my cash flow. You're right. You really don't need, a scheme to get caps. Caps just sort of fall into your lap pretty freely in Fallout 4.
Yep. There's only so many things you need caps for too, unless you're buying ammunition like me. Yeah. It's not like you need caps to fast travel around or anything.
The only thing that I really want to try that I still have never done is to find, I'm going to say Ken Burns. What's his name? Is there a Ken traveling merchant that goes to like 10 Pines and up and down the East Coast there from Bunker Hill? Maybe it's not Ken. I don't remember. He's a traveling armor.
Lucas.
There you go. Yeah, Lucas Miller. I want to get the Mantis Greaves at some point, but they're like 27,000 caps a piece. You know what I mean? If I ever have 54,000 caps, I don't know if I've ever gotten up that high to buy. And why are they so ridiculously priced? They don't. Their perk is like +1 to one of your special categories or something. It's really
they're not worth it.
Yeah, they're totally not worth it. They just put it there to be a fucking thing that you have to be like, okay, I gotta get that. You know what I mean?
I did spend a lot of caps with Todd, my first character, over in Far Harbor, getting the legendary marine armor pieces. I did end up buying those, and those are all like 20 grand.
What? Wait, the ones you get off the bottom of the ocean from the trunks? The marine armor wetsuit thing?
No, like there's a piece that you can buy from the armorer in the nucleus, and it gives you like a plus to running. And then there's also a helmet that's for sale in the Far Harbor in the main pier area, and you can buy the helmet there, I think, and it gives you like a +1 to perception and 1 to charisma, you know.
And is it also like, 27,000 caps or whatever?
Yes.
That's crazy. Yeah. Let's see, what quest did I even suggest? I don't even remember which ones I suggested. Oh, the going to get the Vem power armor down at the Vem Pop factory. I always like going down there. That's one of my favorite places to go. And other people had suggested that one too. So I figured, that seems like a nice popular one. We threw that one in. That's always fun. I like Far Harbor a lot. I mean, the Commonwealth, of course, is the best, I would have to say. But Far Harbor, when it came out, was just such a different and refreshing twist on a common theme that I was just really ready for, because I was almost getting to the point where I was like, thinking this is a little stale. Fallout 4, I've been playing so many hundreds of hours, and then a refreshing blast of radiation fog right in my face gave me a new breath of life. So Far Harbor came at a really good time. It's really amazing. Except for the fact that I've seen some of our friends from Far Harbor have made the transition over to fucking Appalachia, and I'm not happy about it. Not one bit.
Fog crawlers.
Oh, fuck you, Ray.
Are there fog crawlers in 76?
And anglers too.
What?
Wait, really?
Oh my god.
Man.
You guys need to go to the mire.
That's awesome.
Jen, did you have any favorite quest? I don't even remember what quest you suggested if you did. Was this your first roundtable experience, by the way?
It
Jen?
was, and it was so much fun. It was fun to challenge myself by playing differently, but I tried to choose the opposite of everything I would normally choose, except I suggested the Ironsides USS Constitution quest, but and I love that, but I really, really forgot how much I loved Brain Dead. That's the hotel in Far Harbor.
That whole thing was
Oh my god. The Robo Brains
hilarious.
are fantastic. And I mean, and I got Gilda because I have more charisma than I'm used to having, and I got Gilda's Lover's Embrace with a Robo Brain. That was pretty exciting. And then listening to Santiago talk about all of his paintings and finding out that he's the one that did all the kitten paintings that I put in all of my settlements. Just that was wonderful. I think
Santiago. Yeah, I was
Yes.
totally talking with my wife yesterday about the kitten paintings because I saw that you can make the kitten paintings in Fallout 76.
I know, I'm so excited about that. But yeah, Brain Dead is fantastic. I think the dialogue, and I love that all the Robo Brains look the same except they have one accessory that makes them different. So, and then they use that in the whole mystery quest, putting on a tie and turning into a different Robo Brain. So anyway, Brain Dead, my favorite.
Yeah, that's really fun. And so often I just bolt on past Pearl there and just keep on trucking up the mountain. It's been a long time since I've actually done that one. Sweet. I love a good Robo Brain too. Like when I'm making a robot on the robot workbench, more often than not, I'm building a flying robot because I hate it when they get stuck on a root or something walking in the woods, and then you're 20 yards ahead of them, and all of a sudden your robot's fucking gone. So I put the jet thruster on them or whatever, the Mr. Handy thruster, and more often than not, I put that brain on it. I just like the way that brain looks. Robo Brain.
Hey,
very cool.
Do they have the Robo Brains in Fallout 76?
I saw my first one. Is that spoiler? I already revealed that I just saw one, but yeah, I saw my first one yesterday, and
Okay.
I happened to be running around with.
I wouldn't consider that a spoiler.
Okay, good. Shout out to Darth Daddy, member in the group. Ran around with him last night. We ran into my first Robo Brain, and there were 3 of us together. It was level 40, and I was still level 14 at the time or something. So normally I would have avoided this confrontation, but there were 3 of us, so we decided to go at it. And then there was whatever the sentry bot as well. So holy fuck, it was epic. And without those guys, I never ever would have come out of it. But so that was really fun. I'm really enjoying this multiplayer aspect of 76, running into community members out there. Really good. But yes, I just saw RoboBrain in 76.
Sweet.
Yeah, and getting into that hotel's no slouch. There's a lot of pretty good level ghouls on there.
Oh yeah, there are.
The whatnot.
So my favorite quests that we did were Traffic Jam and Prep School, because I liked showing everybody that was one that I picked, and I liked showing everybody that weird little trader post that you get to build in your settlement later on after you do that one, and it's a really weird way to get that. I don't know. There's not a whole lot of things in the game like that, but
Yeah, that was the first time I'd ever actually gotten that, Steve. So thank you for showing us that. And if you are a low charisma player doing survival mode or something like that, I think that is an absolutely essential aspect that you need to work into your game, is that trader caravan outpost, because they will send just a trader to your whatever settlement you set it up at. And they will bring you water, they'll bring you food, they bring you all sorts of stuff. And, cash it in. It's if you don't want to set up local leader 2 and do all the charisma BS to hook up your settlements, that is a great way to supply your settlements to make sure that there's a constant flow of stuff coming in.
yeah,
Really like that.
and it does kind of make sense, because I mean, Bunker Hill is a trader outpost, right? And so
Like
they
a
all
trader
come
hub.
through there.
Yeah.
It's like a trader hub, and so yeah, if they have something that's preventing their businesses from doing well, then they're going to need somebody to go and do it. Then it kind of expands the trader routes.
Yeah, and the story on that one fit well with my character, because she was against anything that had to do with imprisoning people, and so freeing those traders fit perfectly with her story.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah, is anybody reading those terminals for the radioactive?
Well,
Because
Steve, you should do it. No, I don't know if anybody signed up for that yet, but
yeah, those were some brutal terminals in there on Prep School.
Yeah,
sweet.
yeah. It's the blood. It's not the blood pact. There's some note on every one of the raiders that you kill in there.
I think it
Judge
was a blood
Zeller.
pact. Yeah.
Zeller's army.
Yep.
All right, guys. Any other famous or favorite moments throughout the this season of the round table?
I
Best.
enjoyed everybody's feedback on Milton's parking garage.
Oh yeah.
Another fun, out of the way little thing.
Yeah, it's the Gauntlet Junior, basically.
Yeah, it was brutal. I loved it.
And I've done it a lot, so I knew what I was doing as I was going through. So it was so awesome when I turned the corner and there's a frickin' Brahmin in one of the jail cells. I'm like, what? He's just sitting there. So
he must have been a very, very bad boy.
definitely.
whatever he was doing. Oh, that poor cow.
And the bummer is you couldn't loot him. So
Yeah. All right. Last call for favorite moments, favorite quests. Any closing comments on your characters where you thought you ended up? The only perk that I bailed on that I was assigned was Chem Resistance. Did you guys bail on any of your assignments? Or not do any of the quests? I never actually did finish the blanking on the freaking name of the black-hatted superhero, the Silver Shroud.
Silver Shroud,
Shroud.
yeah.
Yeah, I never actually did complete the Silver Shroud. So, and I still hadn't done that in many plays. So I still didn't do it.
Well, that's the best quest.
It's one of them. I haven't done it in a long time. I should go back and do it.
Yeah, what were your favorite quests, Craig?
Silver Shroud is I think that's probably my favorite of all of Fallout 4. Just because I love the radio plays. And I love that they've added radio plays to 76. It's just I wish there was a station that played them.
That would be cool. And
Yeah,
you could stop and pause them and play them at your leisure instead of having to depend on hearing them the first time they roll. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I ended up not doing In Sheep's Clothing because I hadn't done the main quest at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it reminded me that when Sarah said that it was fun listening to Codsworth say her name, I never did see Codsworth, so I'll have to take the character back to Sanctuary Hills and see what he says.
Didn't even stop in Sanctuary. You are very, very anti-settlement. Good Lord.
Well, it just didn't fit the story.
If I ever go back and talk to Codsworth with Slinger, who went right to Nuka World and bypassed all that stuff too, never talked to Codsworth. I'm gonna do the automatron and then make him into a Nira big bottle robot and make him walk around behind me all like that.
Nice.
Steve, I think you brought that up in the first place, right? About the Nira robot pieces being included into your robot workbench? Or I don't remember who.
Yeah, so if you shoot that bottle robot, it doesn't turn everybody in Nuka World hostile, and then you can pick up the mods from the body and then go do Automatron, which has the robot maker, and then you can make one of those Nira bottle robots walking around.
I think I remember you mentioning that a few shows back,
Yeah.
I made a robot and gave it my normal robot stuff, like I was mentioning, my thruster, the RoboBrain head, the normal Assaultron body, a nice small floating robot, normal arms, but its hands, I gave it the big fucking white character Mickey Mouse glove hands. Oh,
Yes. Those are the ones.
so good.
That's good.
It's so good.
So yeah, I like Codsworth just fine, but it'd be funny to make him do that to him with a Raider character. I haven't done it, but maybe I will.
Well, Godspeed. All right, guys. Thank you for a wonderful season of the Fallout Roundtable. That concludes season 6. Now we will open the floor to season 7 pre-show, which means let's get into Fallout 76. Jan, have you played Fallout 76 yet? Oh, she's muted. Sorry. Sarah, you just got to play for the first time, and you and Ray ran around together, didn't you?
For like 10 whole minutes. It was amazing.
Yeah, that was. I finally got to where I could get my microphone to work with Lee last night. So.
Oh, awesome. Cool. Yeah, it's been fun. I die a lot. I am constantly searching for my stupid little paper bag. It sucks. But it's good times. I'm having fun playing, and I've just been basically roaming around, exploring things, finding stuff, picking up everything I can possibly pick up. So it's been good. So here's my question. All right, listen. So those of you that have been playing for a little while, my husband actually made a character, and he made it under my account. So if you guys see me running around and I'm not talking to you, it's probably him. But he spent like an hour creating a character last night, and then my daughter decided that she wanted to sit in his lap. So she's 15 months old. So he put her in his lap, and she smashed his keyboard, and it kicked him out without saving his character, and he was really mad. So today he hopped on and he created a character really quickly, like in 10 minutes. And then ran right through the vault without picking anything up and ran outside.
Oh my gosh.
So, yeah, I was like, what did you do?
Well, now he
I
gets to make a
mean-
new character.
Can he do anything? That's not like essential stuff though, right? Does he
Can
have
you-
to have
I don't think you can get back in.
No,
you
you
can't get back in. Well,
No.
what I would wonder is then if you can't get back into the vault to get like you have to pick up the camp thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he
Yep.
didn't pick up the camp thing. He picked up
And
the
your perk
boy.
cards.
Yeah, he didn't pick up the perk cards.
Ooh.
Oh wow.
I know.
So can he build a camp? We don't know.
No, I mean, I don't know. Can you buy a camp somewhere?
Not that I'm aware of.
No.
I was gonna say that I would try the first overseer's camp
Yeah.
to see if
See.
you
And it may give you one by default just because you have to have one. And I don't think it knows how to not have that option available.
I wonder if I'll have to check his inventory when he comes back home. He's at the grocery store. And see if things just automatically popped in, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, be interesting to see.
I'll let you guys know what we find out.
But yeah, I did discover that you do have to get out of the vault before your character saves.
Right.
Because I had one where I had built the character and I had actually started going through and picking stuff up, and I got booted from the server and lost it all.
Oh no.
But fortunately, I don't spend a lot of time building my character, so
Right.
I lost 4 minutes of my life. I can spare it at this point.
And once you leave the vault, they don't let you back in, right?
Right. Yeah.
So you can't run out, save, and then run back and get your stuff.
Mm-mm.
So we'll see what happens there. Better him than me. I got all my stuff.
Yeah, go check his perks and see if there's a pack that's unopened in there or something.
I could probably just do that right now. Since I'm playing right now.
Anybody successfully traded perk cards with another player?
I've never traded anything with anybody.
Mm-mm.
You
Nah,
can
me
trade
neither.
perk cards?
I believe Pat and I discovered that you could, but we didn't actually do it. But I think it is possible, I believe.
Yeah, I think you have to have like 2 or 3 in charisma at least to be able to do it.
Is it a perk to trade perk cards, or is it built in if you have 3 charisma or something?
I got the impression that it's built in.
Okay. Yeah, I've never done it. I couldn't figure out the trade system, so I just drop things in a little paper bag.
That's what Lee and I were doing last night.
But I don't know where it comes from. It's like you poop it out. It just kind of shows up between your legs, and then you walk away from it.
Yeah, and if you drop it and you're standing still, it is just sitting there between your legs.
Yeah.
And the other person can't pick it up because you're in the way.
It's a pretty funny animation.
You can go over to another person's campsite and drop one, light it on fire, ring the doorbell, run.
Oh, that's so good. If you could do that.
It's filled with snallygaster poo.
Exactly. That would be funny if you could kind of do that.
Speaking of neighbors and defending your neighborhood, anybody tried the hey look, there's a workbench here I need to take over and defend from other people and then been attacked by other players? Has anyone gone through that experience yet?
I have not been attacked by other players, but I'm currently killing Scorch that are trying to take me out. But no other players. I've only seen 2 other players, and one of them is Ray in this game.
Nice. Well, some people would consider that a bonus. Are you that kind of person?
For sure. I like the social aspect. I am very much missing NPCs in this game right now.
Okay, let's expand on that a little bit. One of the major changes in the game, of course, is the lack of live living people with which to interact. They want you to make the other players in the game the NPCs. They want you to trade with the other players, to go steal from them, to kill them, to barter with them. They want you to make the other people on your server the NPCs in the game. So, for some reason, they decided that there cannot be any real NPCs because they want to force us to interact with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what that means is, if you want to play in a solo fashion, that absolutely every person you interact with is either a robot or dead. Which I understand. These are the first wave of people. This is what? How long after the bombs? How long are we here?
25 years.
25 years. This is these people, who they got killed by radiation or bombs or monsters or whatever. It's been only 25 years, and we're the first wave of help.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of makes sense that there would still be rotting bodies around, and I don't know why everything still has electricity, but that's always been in the Fallout world. Like, why?
Yeah, I mean, there's electricity 200 years later, so.
Yeah, then Fallout 4, I'm always like, okay, great, this elevator works, sweet. That would happen. But yeah, some people consider that a giant drawback. What are your experiences with it so far? Did you think it's going to ruin your solo play experience?
I don't know. I mean, I've barely even really begun to get into the game. I might be able to get used to it. I'm one of those players that reads every terminal. I talk to every person in the game. I really like to do all the silly little side quests and check out every inch of the game that I can get my hands on. And so I found a couple holotapes without, giving too much away. And I just don't feel like it's the same. But maybe as I do more quests and find more holotapes and maybe find more robots, etc., I will get used to it. Plus, I'll just make Ray hop on if I'm lonely.
Okay, I'm glad you said that, because I was just about to make the point that I think, especially us in this community, with this game, how it is set up, with the roundtable project that we do, I think it is pertinent that we try to do our quest assignments together online as a group. Like, we will set up an Xbox time, a PS4 time, a PC time, where we can run our quests together.
Yes, we have to.
Yeah,
that'll be good.
That would be fun.
That will be so fun.
Because I think that is the best way to get around the feeling that this game is very empty and lacking of life. If you're a single solo player, it'll be great to play the main quest line, but the main quest, everything is dead, so there's nothing to interact with. So you have to surround yourself with other live people, and best be it people who are playing your same quest with the same objectives you are for the roundtable. So I just think that would be this game is actually set up really well for our roundtable type project. It's just that we'll have to see how the quest structures really play out. Has anyone gotten far into the main quest at all? I've been playing it, and I'm meeting the different factions of the game. Basically,
I've actually been I stopped doing it and I just started going around and doing like different events and stuff all over the place, and exploring, just like going, I'm heading that way, and then I go that way. So
That's. I'm glad you brought up events. That's another new, cool, weird addition to the game. It's just these.
it's
I
like a
don't.
timed
Yeah, it's
quest
a
or thing that has to happen, and anybody can join in, and as long as you're there in the area when it's happening and generally trying to help, it'll get a reward.
And if you're not into spending real money on the atomic store items, I think these events are probably the best way to earn those little atoms. The little for the atomic shop or whatever it's called. Because you get caps and different different little rewards, and I think generally always you get some atoms for doing those events.
You
Now,
get atoms for those. Yeah.
Steve, how we're going to incorporate events? Is that something that when we do a quest, our structure rundown for the schedule, that we need to maybe do a different event or two? We'll do like the main quest and then an event or something per episode. What do you think? How are we going to incorporate these events?
Yep, an event, and then one will be like do a workshop.
Okay, so each episode will have a workshop to defend, and for that period of time, and then an event to accomplish, and probably a couple quests in the main quest. That sort of thing. Is that a good idea, you guys?
Yeah, that sounds good. And the events. So I spent a lot of time playing solo today, and I accidentally triggered a bunch of events that I think were intended for groups, and died horribly several times trying to do them myself. So I think a team event would be a lot of fun if we could, go together.
Just as a quick side note, I logged into my husband's character and he was auto-loaded with all the stuff you pick up from the tables.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. Good to know.
Good for
Sprint for the door.
time he plays.
You can run straight out of the vault and not have to worry about actually picking anything up, and you'll have all that stuff once you get outside.
Yeah, he's got the glasses, the party hat. He's got the stim packs. Yeah, he's got all of that.
No, that's how I ended up with the party hat.
I
didn't pick that shit up.
Did you know there's a guitar in the room where around the area you start out at? You can sit down at it and get the fine-tuned perk before jumping out into the wasteland.
Let's talk about that perk. What does fine-tuned do for you?
So yeah, you play the instruments that you find around. One's a mouth harp. That's hilarious, by the way. And and you play it for how long? You got to let your character play it. Like, what is it? 30 seconds? It seems like 100 hours, but it's only like 30 seconds.
I was gonna say it doesn't seem like that long. It's really nice, and you're like a super.
It's like a week.
Steve's just used to punk rock. He's like, come on. Play a bar chord, why don't you?
Exactly. So what does it do then? It gives you plus to your experience for 2 hours? Is that 2 live hours that you play? That's pretty good, actually.
No, that's great. Also, have you noticed the 5 cans of stew or whatever you get?
I have noticed the 5 cans of stew because that comes from an event.
Oh, does it? Because every time my character loads, I get 5 more cans. I don't know if it's a bug or something, or if I just happen to be loading within the event zone or something, but it seems more often than not, whenever I load in my character at my camp, I get 5 cans of stew.
Nice.
The 5 cans of stew is coming from an event called Feed the People. And when that is done successfully on a server, then it gives everybody on there 5 cans of stew.
Oh, great. So
that'll make me over encumbered.
Other people giving me stew. That's nice. No, but the stew is also great because it gives you the plus experience points as well. So you should eat a can of stew and play an instrument and go go out there and get lots of experience points. Now, Craig, I think you brought up that you read somewhere that intelligence works a little bit differently in this game, where intelligence does not affect experience points.
Yeah, I don't think I remember. I don't think it says that on the intelligence, entry.
That is something that would be very great to look up if we could get into those, what the actual differences are in between all of the special categories. Has anyone actually looked that up yet? Goodness.
No, it's not on the wiki yet.
Because I did read my two specials that I'm always obsessed with are, of course, agility and perception for the VATS, because that increases shots that you can shoot and the accuracy of those shots. And I did look up both of those, and those still remain the VATS, accuracy and shots you can get off. Now, I'm just really curious how it changes everything else. Fucking charisma is just totally. They took a wrecking ball to charisma, basically. There's no speech checks in the game, are there?
No, you can't even converse with the robots.
Yeah, it says like interact, and they just have canned lines. Or you can barter with them. Yeah.
Yeah, so the only thing I've seen charisma good for is the being able to trade cards.
Trade cards, yeah. Share your wealth.
May I make a correction? Well tuned gives you plus 25% AP action point regeneration for 1 hour, and it is playing on the musical instrument for 30 seconds.
I'm sorry, I cut out for a second there. Could you repeat that, please, Steve?
Sure. I said something about well tuned. You play the instrument, it gives you extra XP, and that was incorrect. That it gives you 25% AP, so action point regeneration for 1 hour.
That's people. Pay attention.
Yeah. So just wanted to clarify that.
So how do we get that at our camp? I want to set up a grand piano at my camp. How do I do this?
Find the plan.
That's great.
I found a plan for acoustic instruments, so now I can build like a regular guitar and a steel guitar, and it comes with a little chair, and you put it down.
Oh,
yeah,
that's cool.
That's incredible. I haven't seen those yet. Let's talk about plans. What do you think about those, Jen? Have you found any plans yet?
Yeah, I found plans for like a tinker bench and the chem station and stuff like that. And I've been finding recipes for things. I didn't know for the longest time that you had to read them, like to unlock them. So, I had all these things sitting in my notes. So I unlocked them and I started building. But they're in the most obvious places sometimes, and I feel really dumb for not finding them when I go back to a spot and I go, oh, right. That's
Okay,
there.
example. Where are we going to find these?
One of the first ones is at the first overseer's camp, right?
Yeah, the metal bed.
Yeah. So you can build a bed, but they're everywhere in all kinds of different places. I don't want to spoil anything, but they're in the same locations though, right?
Yeah,
I think some of them are random spawns in containers though, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I've gotten them in containers, and I think they're random there.
Okay.
Yeah, the other thing to keep in mind is if you don't read them, they have weight.
Oh.
So read them, get the knowledge, and get rid of the weight.
Yep.
And if you have extras, sell them, I guess, right? Or give them.
Sell them or trade them.
Yep.
I've been holding on to them to trade them.
Yeah.
I wish there was a way to tell which ones you have learned versus which ones you haven't learned yet, though.
Just click on them, because if you've learned them, if you've learned it, you won't read it again.
Exactly. It won't unlock again. It won't unlock twice. So if you hit the button and it's still there, then you can give it to someone else. So let's talk about inventory management. I'm a junk hoarder. I met my over encumbered, thousands of times already. But that means something so different in this game, which I'm so happy about. It doesn't make me stop to a crawl and make me super vulnerable. Because, like I mentioned last week's show, that could cause trouble with the PvP situation where someone's over encumbered and then some dickweed comes around and just makes an example out of you. So it doesn't make you slow to a crawl, but it doesn't let you sprint away. Which, it won't let you fast travel, that sort of stuff either. But I've also hit my build cap over at my camp, my settlement, whatever, my camp.
So are you storing stuff that you haven't put out in your camp?
Yeah, that's I'm a hoarder, so I basically I pick up basically absolutely everything in the game, and as soon as I hit any sort of crafting table, I immediately scrap all of my weapons and armor that I'm not going to use down to their components. Then I take all those
really lowers the weight when you do that, just massively.
Mhm.
Then I take all those components back to my camp, and then Jess and other people pointed out the way to further increase your capacity is you can then bundle all of those raw materials that you take back into bulk items. If you have plastic, which I assume you're just like taking these items and plastic wrapping them and shrink wrapping them theoretically in your trunk, your stash trunk. So you can store these bulk items in your chem station, I believe. Is that how you go to bulk items?
No, you bulk them at the Tinker station.
Yeah, you're right. Go to your Tinker station and you can bulk these items up and store them. Craig, do you still have access to them when building? Or do you have to unbulk them in order to use them in your building?
No, you don't have to unbulk them. It doesn't seem like it uses them first, though. Because I was having it where it was using modifications that I had stored and scrapping those to like get steel.
Oh, weird. But then I went to the corn farm. Someone was very nice and posted a spot where like, hey, corn over here. I know everyone's looking for water. One of the main one of the or adhesive. Sorry, one of the main ingredients to the vegetable starch is corn, and you need the mute fruit and the what is it? Was it razor grain? No, tato.
Tato. Yeah.
You need the tato and the purified water. So in order to get all that set up, head to this farm and get all the corn you want. So I put down a ton of corn, and then I was like, oh crap, my build limit is up. I think that all the corn I put down ate up my build limit, and then I stored half the corn. And then I noticed, oh wait, that didn't increase any of my build limit. I think that I would have to actually scrap the item. You can't store it in order to reduce your build space. I think you actually have to get rid of the stuff and scrap it. Anyway, it's different getting used to the build inventory management. I'm used to just being able to dump everything. You know what I mean? Like I'm a hoarder galore.
Mm-hmm.
I love to have everything at my will whenever I want to build something. I don't want to have to go look for something. I just want to have it already.
So you must have a mass amount of steel in there, right? Because like I ended up with so much steel.
Well, I think I've eventually had to shed some. I don't have as much as you think I have. I think I'm in the
yeah.
600.
So what I need to do is I need to take my excess steel and then go over to somebody else's camp and drop a baggie of steel there in their camp and leave that for them. That's like the modern day version of the
zucchini.
I've been taking my excess steel and bulking it and selling it.
You can sell it to vendors?
Yeah, you have to have it bulked, though.
Oh, okay.
I've noticed at the train stations, more often than not, there's a vendor robot and a stash box of your own, which is a different system, which is very nice. You can access your inventory basically throughout the map, wherever you can find a stash box, which I think are red rockets and train stations. Does anybody have any other location where you can find these stash boxes reliably?
Airports.
How many airports are there?
I've been to 2.
I've only been to 1, I think. The one with the Scorch Beast there. Pat and I went and captured the airport together. Neither of us had our communique working, but it was fun. Actually, that's how I played last night too. I didn't have my headset on and ran around. Do you guys think that you're going to absolutely need the headsets to play online with people? I was having a good time just running around with folks without the headset.
Yeah, it's a lot more fun. Because it was really frustrating, trying to. Sarah and I ended up using Facebook Messenger to talk to each other because we couldn't figure out how to communicate in the game. But then last night, I was on and ran into Lee and Sarah Saylor, and being able to just casually talk while you're going through, and then somebody's over in one corner and says, hey, I found this, and it was definitely much better being able to talk.
Okay, Ray, you don't gotta play with my way. Sarah was also mentioning that she wanted to play without actually having to talk to anybody.
So it's been kind of interesting because I typically, I don't play with followers, or any of that kind of stuff in any of the other games. And, this kind of gives me the best of both worlds, because it was definitely fun to play with other people in a group. It changes the dynamic of the game, and it gives you, better control. I never had a problem of Lee standing in the doorway and wouldn't move. And
I can't wait to play with you someday, Ray. I'm just gonna fucking stand in your way. Possibly shooting you in the back. All sorts of fun followers.
And but I am able to go off on my own and enjoy the game solo as well.
Hey Ray, hey Ray, hey Ray, hey Ray, hey Ray.
It's so peaceful
Hey Ray,
and quiet.
hey Ray, hey Ray.
I'm not annoying.
I'm sworn to carry your burdens.
I'm gonna run up and drop a baggie in front of you, and you'll go look at it, and it'll be a piece of steel.
Handy with the steel, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. So it's been really enjoyable so far.
There's a couple of things that I noticed that just were found were interesting. So cooked food still has radiation, but it keeps you from getting disease when you eat the food after it's been cooked.
Right.
So that was always interesting, because I remember in Fallout 4 you would cook the food and it wouldn't have any radiation, and I was like, that's not actual science. you can cook it and it'll still have radiation. And so I thought that was neat that they've changed that. And also the outfits. I was talking about wanting to wear something that would show the armor that I'm wearing, because usually the outfits you put on just cover it up entirely, which is great solution for you. You can still have your good under armor, and then you're wearing an outfit on top. But yeah, so it looks like the same ones that you could wear armor on top of in Fallout 4 are available, like the harness and was it military fatigues? Those show your armor on top of your outfit, just like the vault suit.
And you can wear them under your armor and with clothes on top, I learned today. I put military fatigues on, and it was underneath my greaser jacket.
That is the absolute best. Wear whatever with your armor. And I know I must be annoying you, Steve, with all of my stupid suggestions, and I'm glad that people are swatting down the particularly stupid ones. But the one I threw out today, Steve, was a random outfit / hat combination that you have to try to find in the game and wear for your character.
The font on that Pip-Boy is going to be so small we're not going to be able to read it ever.
Just gotta, since we can't do perks and I just feel like we're our hands are tied a little bit with this character generator. So I'm just trying to get as much as we can. You know what I mean?
I think it'll be surprisingly robust.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm being paranoid about it. I know.
Yeah.
There's a ton of information in there. Yeah, we've got name, sex, the camp zone, a faction. We've got 5 factions in the game to join, and mutation, and then the workshop, and then a perk for each of the specials, and a special to choose every level. So it's pretty good.
Yep. Yeah, one thing I did notice about wearing the military fatigues is they have more weight than other clothes.
Hmm.
So,
Do they have any defense?
but there's no bonus to them.
Have you found any clothing that have a special bonus or sort of perk or buff or anything?
No, I haven't.
Oh, just protection.
Yeah.
I heard that I did see one. I don't want to give story away, but there is a quest reward for and I haven't done it. I just saw it online. That for and it gives you an outfit, a dress to wear that has +2 perks. So there is.
Cool.
Huh.
That's always my favorite. I always have to go find those articles of clothing with the AP bonus or the lightweight that gives you the AP bonus, or I mean that's usually an armor mod, but anything that gives you agility buffs or
Yeah.
gosh.
And it ties in with the comic books with the Unstoppables, which is a neat tie-in on it.
Nice. Magazines are going to be different now too.
Yeah, pocketed armor is going to have a much more precious place in the in people's hearts this game, because it adds I think it's 5 to your carry weight for every piece of pocketed armor you have. It's either 5 or 10.
Oh my
Either
god.
pocketed armor or ultralight, which lightens the weight of the armor itself.
Right.
Ooh, actually, that I've got a lightweight pocketed armor, so double bonus.
That's great.
We were talking about the Mysterious Stranger earlier. There's apparently a Mysterious Stranger card that you can put on
Oh, that's
for a
awesome.
perk.
Oh,
And
really?
he's still in the game. So,
Oh, that's fantastic.
and then there's also another one called Mysterious Savior. So that one, what does it do? It gives you like, the
revives
Mysterious Savior comes and revives you if you die. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, wow. That's a perk card?
Yeah, it's a perk card that you can get in the luck column.
In luck.
Mysterious Savior. So I'm thinking. I think back to like Fallout New Vegas, where it had what was it, Misfortune,
Yeah, misfortune.
wearing the great show dancer outfit, who would come and like trip your opponent.
Oh, that's awesome.
What dictates the distribution of perk cards that you get within the random perk card packs?
Mm.
Is there a pattern to it? I haven't noted one.
Is it completely random? And because I
think
know
it
when
is.
you select your special category, they let you pick a card within that special category. So I've already got a level 15 in agility. I've maxed out agility already. So most of my cards are that. But I was just curious because I have multiple cards in every other category except for luck. I only have one card that has ever popped up. So
Interesting.
I was just wondering.
So, one thing that happened to me was that I found out that you can choose a special, right, to put the point in, and then you can pick a card from any of the categories. And so I ended up putting a point into luck when I meant to put it into strength. And so then I ended up picking a strength card, but I couldn't use the card because I had put the point into luck. And I didn't have enough luck cards, and so I couldn't even like use it until I'd leveled up a couple of times so that I could pick a perk card for luck. So you don't have to actually pick the perk card from the special point that you chose.
Okay, so you can just level up and not take a card at all, or
No, you have to take the card, but you could put a point in agility and you could take a strength card. I didn't realize you could do that for a long time
oh, nice.
until I made a mistake and couldn't. It wasn't really a mistake, but just I couldn't use
Yeah.
I didn't have a card to use for a couple of levels.
I'm at max level on multiple different cards in the agility category, but I've also drawn the same card. You know, you can multiply your cards. You get 2 single levels, combine those together, get 1 of a level 2. Oh, you get another card of that same category, pile it on for level 3, and I got it yet again, but I'm already maxed out on 1 card. Can I max out 2 cards and have those together to get ultra powerful in 1 perk? You can't do that, right? Don't they prevent that from happening?
Well, like if you have 2 level 2 cards, you can combine them to get a level 3, right?
But what I'm saying is I've got the perk card and agility that makes food way less, and I've got that one maxed out. Oh, but I've got that card going again. Should I can't have the same card maxed out equipped twice. I don't believe. You can
I
only
wouldn't
max
think
out
so.
1 card. Okay. I'm getting used to it. I'm now I hated it at first, the perk card system. I'm getting used to it. I think it's going to be good. What do you guys think of the music?
I love the music.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
Ray, do you listen to the I can't even say it, guys. Appalachia Radio, Ray? Do you listen to that station?
I have listened to it. Yeah.
What music do you like? Do you prefer the score or the radio?
It depends. The radio kind of gets to be a little distracting. But you know, I enjoy all the songs on it. Some of the holotapes are really long-winded and not edited, and so it like, did that holotape end? It seemed kind of like it wasn't at the end, and then all of a sudden they start talking again. And the holotapes over the music gets a little weird.
I have a thing where I go ahead.
The music doesn't just mute when the holotapes are going, like if you're listening to the radio.
Now it just kind of falls back into the background.
That's
I had a thing where I go to hit the button to play the whole holotape, and it just does a whole bunch of static for a long time, and then I have to like stop playing it and then actually go into my inventory and play it from there.
Oh, weird. That's
Yeah, I've had that happen too. And still kind of getting used to the controls, because on mouse and keyboard,
Oh, it's so different.
it is and it isn't. So, E still works for enter, even if the thing is telling you to hit the space bar. And you're supposed to use the V key for VATS, but I instinctively hit the Q key. Well, that works for VATS.
Silly Ray. Everyone knows V is for Vendetta. So Q was VATS in Fallout 4, and you still hit Q, and it still brings up VATS. Is that what you're saying?
Yep.
But according to the instructions, VATS is a different key?
Yeah, the V key.
And you haven't remapped anything?
Nope.
That's the first thing I did, was I remapped everything to be exactly like, well, you can't be exactly like Fallout 4. The menu structure is slightly different. I don't like the Pip-Boy. I think it is different, and instead of using the shoulder buttons, they make you use the left and right or something. I feel like it's different. Anybody else get that who uses a console controller? Do you feel like the Pip-Boy, they've changed how you get back and forth between the sub menus and the over menus?
No, it doesn't seem different to me.
It's the same.
It feels clunky as hell to me. I don't know what. It feels very different to me.
The only thing I keep messing up with the console is trying to get into my map. I keep thinking it's in the Pip-Boy, and then I've got to hit the.
I wish.
Yeah.
I do not like the map. I wish that they also had it in the Pip-Boy in digital form. Why couldn't they do both? It's great to have that decorative map and everything, but I feel like I can get more information out of the Pip-Boy map.
Well, not to mention the Pip-Boy, you can make it transparent. The map, you can't.
You're right.
Right.
You're right.
I do appreciate, though, that they included show on map in the Pip-Boy when you're looking at quests. So for me, it's right. I'm on PS4, and it's right bumper R1 to get to and it automatically goes to the map and shows you where that quest location is.
Well, they did that in Fallout 4. I could always go to the data section and do a it was the left shoulder button, the B button, to do it in Fallout 4. But I do it instinctively now. When I go to the data section, I want to see where the quest is pointing me, and I hit that bumper. Now that button is to relocate your camp. So that happens. I was worried that they were going to take that away because the map is no longer in the Pip-Boy. But they do let you see where it is. That is nice. Yeah. They still points it to the map in the right location. But I still prefer there was like just a digital scan of it. And guys, I really want to take control of the color of my Pip-Boy. I don't like that. Is there a way to do that? I still have not found a way to change the color of my Pip-Boy. I don't like that.
Super annoyed by that too.
I never change the color. I just leave it green.
Now, why on earth why would they take that freedom away? It can't be server stress or something, right? I mean, there's like a billion colors in the leaves. I don't understand why they would take that away. Sorry, we were talking
Maybe they could make different colors for the Pip-Boy available in the Atom store.
God, that's what you solved it. That's what they're gonna do.
That's what they're gonna do. That's
Sweet.
Any sweet poses you guys have purchased or anything?
Yeah, I bought the double thumbs up one.
That's a good one. I keep not buying those because I want to spend it on clothes. You know me.
I bought a biker hat.
Nice.
And I also bought some succulents that I can put out in my camp.
Oh, nice.
Aw.
That's cool.
I haven't bought anything yet.
Yeah, me neither.
I did the pink sun hat and the black fisherman's coveralls. I've got my eye on the it's not called the space suit. It's called like the rocket suit or something like that.
It's the Nuka Girl suit, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because I'm saving up for that one.
I think it's 1,200 and I'm at like 950 or something. So
I think I'm at 1050.
Yeah.
I like the way they. Go ahead.
No, you go first.
I was just gonna say I like the way that they did the Atom store. Actually, it's the prices. Some of them are fairly costly, but you do make atoms as you're playing the game slowly, but you make them. So if you can get whatever you want in there without actually spending real money, or if you want to spend real money, go for it.
Yeah, I do like that you can earn them and not have to actually spend money.
And that they don't give you any sort of competitive advantage at all either.
Right. They're just cosmetic. I was gonna ask, has anybody relocated their camp
Yes.
yet? Yeah.
Yes, but when I did it, my camp was so small, it wasn't like a big deal at all. I want to hear someone's experience who had a lot of stuff built and then tried to do it.
I had a lot of stuff built, and I tried to move it exactly the way it was, and I couldn't do it. I just had to unattach everything and then put it back out a different way.
I accidentally stored my camp because it was under attack, and I got all flustered and I hit all the buttons, and then it disappeared, and I was like, oh my god, I just scrapped my whole camp. And then I realized it was in the storage section and it was too wide to put anywhere else. And I'm by Sutton. It's really hilly around there, and I couldn't fit it anywhere. So I rebuilt over 2 squares. So I'm just making like a little tower because I figure that'll be easier to put down somewhere. But it's all my stuff is just sitting there stored. I can't get it out because it won't fit. I'm looking for a nice flat place to build.
So
Yeah.
I had an experience where I found a water purifier plan. So I was like, oh, I need to build that now, and I need to be by water, so I need to move. So I moved over to an actual bridge, a concrete bridge, and it's a road, and I put it right in the middle, and then I was able to put the purifier down below, and I had the workbenches up top, and I was like, sweet, this is pretty cool. And then I logged out and I logged back into the game later on, and someone else had built in that same exact spot.
Oh no.
And so their camp was there.
What?
And yes. And so then I played there, and I was like, all right, cool. It's not the way I would have done it, but anyway. So then when later on I logged out and logged back in, my camp wasn't there and their camp was not there. All my stuff was stored, so I had to re-put it back out.
Weird.
So heads up, all of
Now-
the stuff in your camp might get stored if you go into a game where someone else has a camp in the same location.
I think the best way to do this is, and what they're intending for you to do, is to blueprint sections of it, not blueprint your whole thing, but be like, these 4 blocks, those 4 blocks, these 4 blocks, those 4 blocks, just so you have the components that you can slap together quickly wherever you go.
But the blueprint requires you to use resources. Storing it stores all your stuff, so you don't have to do it again. Because I blueprinted and I tried to rebuild, but I didn't have enough wood to do it from the blueprint.
Can the blueprint use the stored items?
No.
It only
Because
uses the raw items. It won't use what's stored in your inventory?
If it's stored as specific items rather than as materials or junk.
Well, Steve got booted, right? And his stuff all got stored. If he
Right.
had that blueprinted, couldn't he just slap that back together really quickly?
Not through blueprint, but through stored.
So he would actually have to piece together the floor and the walls and slap stuff up. He wouldn't be able to just like throw it back out. It would have to be piece by piece rebuilt.
No, you can throw it back out from stored, but if it doesn't fit, like where I'm stuck now, I tried to rebuild from blueprint and realized I didn't have enough material to do it.
You know, my building was in there, but because I had a little like 2 square building, and it wouldn't go back where it was.
It's such a
It
pain in the
wouldn't.
butt.
Yeah, just before the show, I was about to try to do it because last night when I was playing with Lee, we were bouncing around between servers, and I lost my camp, and so I haven't had a chance to try to rebuild it yet.
Well, it's as difficult to use on console as the settlement building in Fallout 4.
You think
Can't
so?
snap things in place in the right area, and yeah.
I thought that it was cutting into stuff a lot better. Like
Oh
it,
yeah.
I thought that it was giving me a little more freedom. Like Fallout 4, I felt was really particular with certain angles and didn't like me snapping together things. If I had a roof piece and a floor together and I had to move the wall, but then it wouldn't let me snap a wall in there. I'd have to remove the roof back and then put the wall and then put the roof back. But I felt like this was letting me have more freedom of where I could snap stuff in and out. But your experience might be different than mine. What do you think about the actual organization of the menu of the new build system, the camp system?
Now, I'm generally annoyed by the C and Z.
Yeah.
The C and Z? Explain that.
So that's how you traverse laterally across the menu. And so instead of just clicking on a category, you have to scroll through them using the C and Z key.
Oh, that's lame for you PC folks. That sucks. We're used to having to scroll with an Xbox controller.
Yeah, bummer.
But you guys should just be able to point and click. That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we've got some emails. I forwarded that to Jen and Sarah.
Mhm.
Do either of you get your email checked?
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't check my email. I will now.
No, it's fine. We got 2 emails. I'd like each of you to read an email if you get a second. So what else have we got going on in the Fallout world here? Well, Rebecca has a project that we like to call Fallout Terminal Velocity that I've really been enjoying. Any new community members coming in with Fallout 76? I'd like to check out our new project, Fallout Terminal Velocity. If you're familiar with the Skyrim Book Club, Rebecca, our community member, has been on the Skyrim Book Club podcast. The Skyrim Book Club, they visit each book series, and they really get into the lore of the Skyrim world. Well, Rebecca thought it would be great to visit the terminals of the Fallout world, so that's what we're doing. We're visiting terminals, letters, holotapes, stories of any kind that you can find around the Fallout world. We're using any Fallout game you have. Right now, we're sort of concentrating on Fallout 4. People have been handing in their terminals and holotapes and letters. We've also started visiting Fallout 76 a little bit. I've heard a couple of people wanted to do New Vegas. So if you're interested in participating in this project, if you'd like to read some terminals into your phone and pretend it's a holotape recorder, you can send it to us at Fallout Terminal Velocity at outlook.com. And Rebecca and you can discuss what location you guys would like to cover. And we'll go from there. So it's a fun little project. And I'd like to continue on with a mutant Mark.
Hello there. To start off, my name's Moore. That's M-A with a W. And a few of my friends and I, we heard your broadcast. And right now, I'm over at East City Downs. It's not far from a lovely little settlement called Nordhagen Beach. and it looks like one of those old pre-war race courses. There's some raiders here, some gangsters. They're all dead. There's some broken bots too. Found a holotape on one of them, but I found a terminal inside the clubhouse. I've managed to hack into it. I thought I'd fire it up. I'll see. Oh, all I have here is robot controls, but race status normal, current route, reserve races. It says 3 races in reserve. Stop race, change route, change target, blah 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 blah. Activate reserve. So, oh, here we've got emergency protocols. Well, I'd like to be safe. Confirm that. Let's check out these bots, huh? Where are these robots at? Oh, here they are.
Contact. Engaging.
Oh no. Oh! Well, I made it. Tell you what, let's try that holotape. Well, at least now you know. Thanks for listening. Bye.
All right, Jen and Sarah, you guys have a couple of emails to read.
Yeah, Jen, you
Yeah.
want to go first?
Sure.
Awesome.
Okay, so we've got one email from David. He says, "Hello, my name is David, and I recently listened to your podcast, number 111, and loved it. I would like to participate if possible. I'm a Canadian player, woohoo, of Fallout 4 and 76. I also play entirely on PS4 console. I would love to share my experiences and feedback with your awesome show. Hope to hear back from you, David." Do you guys want to field that? I'm just first. He's Canadian. Hello, David. I'm Canadian too, and also PS4. Me too. So welcome, David. You can join the Facebook group if you want, and find us on there and share your tag with me. I'll play with you. Do you want to? Does someone want to tell him how to join? Ray?
Just start sending in some feedback.
Yep. So the
yeah.
same email that you sent in, this email to, you can
Yep.
send in a recording. Just recapping your gameplay. On December 8th, we've got the role for the new roundtable for 76. So you can get in on that, and we'll roll you a character, and we can just rock and roll. So the Facebook page is the most active place to find us. So send a message on requesting to join that. It's a Skyrim Addict podcast and the Fallout Feed Facebook page. So give us a search and hook up.
We'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely.
Okay, I have something similar. So I have an email here from Adam. He says, "Hey there, longtime listener, looking for Fallout feed folks to meet up with in the game on Xbox. Is there a centralized list posted somewhere?" And then he also gives his gamer tag. So, Adam, please head to the Facebook group. We have a crazy long thread of people posting their gamer tags on all 3 platforms. So, please head that direction. We would love to play with you. Yeah, we have a really good mix, I think, of people playing on all 3 platforms. So,
Yeah.
this is going to be really fun. I'm really excited.
Yeah, it's a pinned up post, and it's F76 meetup thread.
Hmm.
So throw it in there and get you hooked up with some of the players for your platform.
Pretty stoked. So, do we have anything left to cover?
You know, I wanted to throw out a couple of shout outs. One, thank you to Jess for doing some graphics for the random character generator, and because I don't have any of the graphics, I just do the formulas behind it. And also, thank you to Colin for doing the Fallout 4 generator that I based most of those formulas off of. So shout out to both of them, and then also all the other people that didn't make it to the podcast that sent such awesome feedback this time around, like Jess, and we got Mark, and help me out here, people.
Rebecca sent some great stuff in, and there were a lot of people. Chris.
Oh yeah, Chris
H.
Yep.
Because I kept wanting to call him Utah.
Carrie sent some in.
Yeah.
Carrie sent some in. Yeah. I really love this community. I love that everyone is so involved, and I love hearing everybody's feedback. It's been a really great season.
Yeah, and this one, above a lot of the others, there was just so much great storytelling, which is always so much fun.
Yes, I love it when everyone puts backstories in and they make it like a diary or a report. I really love that. I mean, we got Mark over here like putting in music and stuff into his. He's fancy, and they're always amazing.
Yeah, it's been really great listening to everybody's feedback.
Yeah,
something to look forward to.
Oh yeah, we should just go. We'll be completely off the rails with the with Fallout 76. There'll be some crazy stuff going on with that. It's going to be so much fun.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to that. I really loved hearing how diverse the experiences were. I mean, I've been listening for a while, and this is my first time participating. And listening is one thing. I mean, it's totally exciting to listen to how different the stories end up being. But to actually play along was a lot of fun. So join in, guys, if you're out there and you want to. It's fun.
Yep. I remember, Jen, when you did your first feedback, you were so nervous.
I was so nervous. Oh my God.
and I mean, even though you were so cranked up, I mean, you just hit it right out of the park from the very beginning. So just don't be afraid. Just record it, put it out there, and it's just a lot of fun.
As a really shy kid, everyone's really supportive, so there's nothing to be afraid of. They're all great.
Like everyone has already mentioned, thank you so much, everyone, for submitting feedback all season long. It's been incredible. The storytellers in this group, much more talented than I. That is for certain. Lots of good role players in this game and this group, which make the community aspect so much more important, and all of your adventures make this project, the Roundtable, so much more valuable. So, like everyone mentioned, please, if you're interested out there, you're just finding the podcast, you'd like to be involved, just by telling your stories of your Roundtable characters. We will roll new characters on December 8th. So if you'd like to watch live for our ASA podcasting 20 or I almost said 24, our 12-hour cystic fibrosis charity marathon, where we'll be drawing live characters there. If you'd like to join us in the YouTube chat, we will draw characters for you. We've done that a lot. At the beginning of every season, we have a bunch of people join us in the YouTube chat, and we draw characters live for a bunch of people. It's a really fun event. One of my favorite things to do each season, draw characters and just talk about your stats and everything. It's a really good time, so we encourage everyone to hop on with that. Did we get those emails read by chance?
We did.
I had to step away for a minute there. Sorry about that. So thank you for submitting those lovely emails. Thank you, everyone, for listening to the show. Thank you guys for hopping on tonight. Craig, thanks a lot for coming by.
Hey, no problem.
Jen, thanks so much for making time for us.
My pleasure.
Ray, always a pleasure, sir.
Indeed.
Sarah, whatever, go game bed. And Steve, thank you for your hard work on the generator there.
Oh yeah, no worries. Always a blast.
Please contact the show, thefalloutfeed at gmail.com, if you'd like to be a participant in this roundtable project for any new listeners out there. Welcome aboard. We'd love to have you. It's a fun little thing, and we couldn't do it without everyone who's been participating over these 3 years that we've been doing this. So thanks a lot, everyone, for participating, and we'll see you in the wasteland.
Thank you for downloading this episode of the Fallout Feed Roundtable. If you are interested in doing a play-along character with us, the show can be contacted by emailing falloutroundtable@gmail.com. For the roundtable schedule, our Amazon link, and all other show information, please head on over to asapodcasting.com, where you will find the Fallout Feed, the Skyrimatic Podcast, our YouTube channel, the Chatterbox, as well as other content. Once again, thank you for downloading, and we'll see you in the wasteland.
Again, everyone, I know the music says the wrong email address. Just contact us at thefalloutfeed@gmail.com.